Hello and welcome to Your Stocks in the Mumbai News Studio. I'm Ekta Batra. Well, it's turning out to be a session where we are seeing some amount of recovery taking place for the Bank Nifty. So that's definitely a positive which has taken place. The mid-cap index, however, is still under pressure along with the Nifty, which is down around 200 odd points, and the sensex, which has lost around 650 odd points. Joining us today, we have Shahina Mukadam, independent market expert, and Vaishali Parekh, head of tech research at Prabhudas, Lilladher, to answer all of your queries. Shahina as well as Vaishali, welcome to the show. Well, Vaishali, wanted to kick off the show as usual with you. We've scaled back from that milestone 25,000 mark. We are under pressure because of the global cues, but we've recovered from the day's low. Nonetheless, what would your approach be for today's trade?
Very good afternoon, all of you. Yes, so market, we have witnessed a gap down opening and we are quite at those levels, pretty much at those levels. But what we have been seeing is that we are not seeing any selling pressure on the whole coming from sectors. It is some index management, if you may say. So right now we would be observing 24,700 levels, crucial support level. That could be the deciding factor. And on the higher side, we need to cross 24,900, 950 levels to see the market back on track. Now, as far as Bank Nifty is concerned, this sector has just not participated. So today we are seeing some strength seen in the Bank Nifty and banking counters and pharma pack, whereas IT is taking the profit booking scenario. So, well, for now, it is a wait and watch sideways market.
Okay, wait and watch sideways market. We do have a lot of queries in, so let's get to them. Harsha Venkala writes to us from Hyderabad, holds 500 shares of REC, which is bought at around 115 odd rupees. He wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell. Well, REC is given great returns to Harsha. He's currently sitting on a profit of around 2.6 lakh. And wants to know what to do with this particular counter. Well, that's the big question about the PSEs. You know, they've all done well in the past 1 year, or the Nifty PSE index is up around 95% since mid of last year. So what would your approach be, Shahina, towards REC, which is sitting on good returns? One is sitting on good returns. Would it be a sell call?
Well, not really. Ekta, I totally agree with you that, you know, the valuations have become a bit stretched across the board for PSEs. But at the same time, if you look at REC, you know, while the stock has gone up 6 times, so it's, you know, in the last 1 year, the returns have been phenomenal. At the same time, your valuations, even at this levels, are not that stretched. If you look at price to book is about 2.3 times. So it's not cheap, it's not expensive. EV by EBITDA is about 11 times. If you saw the first quarter numbers, they were very healthy. You saw good growth of revenues, 18%, profits up by about 16%. So if a long-term investor has gotten at a good price, it's better to continue holding for the medium to longer term.
Okay, all right. So continue holding for the medium to longer term. And what about the technicals? It's given good returns. Technically, is it up for more?
Technically, I would say it has made a double top actually nearly at 650 levels. So right now we may see some profit booking. I would say book partial profit because market can give you some opportunity at lower levels. That would be the level to again re-enter.
Okay, all right. So that stock, as you can see, is given returns of 200% just in the past 1 year. Well, Dheeraj now writes to us from Hyderabad, holds 100 shares of Jupiter Wagons, which he's bought at around 664. Wants to know what to do. Sitting on a loss at this point. What's your recommendation on this one, Shahina? Let's start with you.
Well, see, even Jupiter Wagons, you know, if you look at it in pure PE numbers, valuations, it looks expensive. And also, you know, another factor that is likely to keep the stock in a consolidative mode for the shorter term or medium term is the heavy fundraise that they've done in the last 3 months. They've raised close to 900 crores, of which there was a QIP which was made close to, I think, about 655 rupees per share, and warrants that was issued at around 470 per share, all in the last 3 months. So if you look at it for the shorter term, 3 months, 6 months, yeah, you're going to see some bit of time correction. But this money is likely to be invested in increasing substantial capacity, and the demand is very good, you know, for the products. It is a capital intensive industry. The whole amount is going to be invested invested in growing the capacity, and I think over a 2-year period, you're likely to see good numbers. And of course, the company, even as of now, is showing very strong growth, both in terms of turnover as well as profitability. So while it is expensive, if you're a long-term investor, I would suggest you can continue to hold.
Okay, continue to hold. Well, that stock too has given good returns. But technically, Jupiter Wagons, how does it look to you, Vaishali?
So I think Jupiter Wagon, the long-term trend is very intact. We've just seen some consolidation from the recent high of 748 to now at around 615. In my opinion, this is once again a buying opportunity because one can add more also at these levels. With 600 as support, in all likelihood, this can retest the previous high. So I think one can go for it to add more.
Okay, all right. Well, we have another query on a PSE. Arjun Banerjee writes to us from New Delhi, holds 100 shares of Rail Vikas Nigam or RVNL, which he's bought at 300 odd rupees. He's sitting on a good profit there, wants to know what to do, whether he should hold or sell at current levels. What would your recommendation be on this one also? It's from the same family of gainers. So, Shahina, what would your view be on RVNL?
Here again, I see valuations are expensive, and the stock has given you a very good return, and especially to this investor also. So to an extent, if you're a long-term investor, you continue to hold. Here again, I think the growth has been strong. You've seen a good 30% growth that is coming in and expected to continue, given the fact that the revenues will do much better going forward, because you've got an order book of close to about 65,000 crores with the company. So to that extent, it's a long-term hold. Valuations are expensive. If you look at pure price to book, it's about 14 times. PE also is 60. So I'm not saying that in the shorter term you'll make good money, but over the longer term, it's another stock that you could hold, which will give you a decent return.
Okay, all right. Well, we have Sandeep who writes to us from Chennai now. But he holds 1,500 shares of IDFC First Bank at 90 odd rupees. And he's sitting on a loss. He wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell this particular counter. Well, Vaishali, what do the technicals look like for you on this one?
So I would say IDFC First Bank, agreed, it has not really participated since a very long time. But technically speaking, I think, well, the worst is over. This stock will become weak only below 72. It has just been consolidating. So let's wait and watch, wait for some more time, because if this stock bounces back from here, one can expect a target of 90 to start with, and then later on we can look at 100, 105. So I would say not in a hurry. Now just wait for some more time.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. That point is taken. And what would your opinion be on IDFC First Bank on the fundamentals, Shahina?
I totally agree with Vaishali. The stock has corrected, is consolidating, and the numbers were not very encouraging because you had provisions that were pretty high, which impacted the overall profitability, while top line was decent. So to that extent, valuations also not expensive, 1.7 times price to book. There could be a bounce, so keep a stop loss and continue to hold. And then, it's not my topic in the sector. So I would say that you look for a bounce to switch.
Okay, you should look for a bounce to switch. Well, that's on IDFC First Bank. Well, we have S. Jaykumar who writes to us from Tamil Nadu, who holds 100 shares of VST Industries, which he's bought at around 4,660. So he's sitting on a loss at this point of around 36,000 odd rupees. And he's asking, he's a short-term investor. So Vaishali, this is over to you. He wants to know what to do, whether he should hold or sell this counter. Any kind of stop loss target that you would have, and what do the charts tell you on this one, Vaishali?
Well, in my opinion, first of all, on a stock like this, one need not worry. But purely on technical terms, 2,000 should act as a stop loss. And currently, what we are seeing, we are talking about BSE, right? So once we see the stock is anyways getting into a trend, and right now I think 2,300 should act as a near-term support, and one can look for a target of 3,000 in days to come. So just hold this stock. Though it is a short-term, keep a stop loss of 2,000.
Okay, all right. And what about the fundamentals in any case, Shahina? Have you looked at this stock?
Actually, I don't want to comment on it because I've done a recent trade in it. At the same time, I just want to give information that there is a bonus issue in the stock. That's a 10-to-1, and the ex date is 30th of August.
Okay, all right. Well, on that note, we need to take a short break, but a lot more queries. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, for the markets, it's turning out to be a down day. So down around 750 odd points for the sensex and 240 points for the nifty. The bank nifty is just about consolidating with a negative bias at this point. Advanced decline ratio, no real formidable recovery which has taken place in the advanced decline ratio, which is favoring the declines at this point. But we still have with us Shahina as well as Vaishali to answer all of your questions. Let's get to another one. We have Srinivas who writes to us from New Delhi, holds 700 shares of Bank of India at 139, wants to know what to do, whether to hold or sell. Technically, what would it be in terms of a call? Bank of India, Vaishali?
But today itself, it's showing some strength, and I think overall, all these small-sized banks, they are getting into momentum. And talking about Bank of India per se, it has been consolidating since a very long time on the 200-day moving average. And since the last few days, we are seeing some volume surge. So I think one should hold this stock because once we see the stock moving above 128, 130, there could be a strong chance of a bounce back going towards 135 and so on. But at the same time, my view gets negated below 119. So this is how he can trade.
Okay, and fundamentally, what would your call be on the stock, Shahina, Bank of India?
You know, I suggest the investor keeps a watch tomorrow on, Vaishali's, what the stop loss that she's given and of course the targets, because tomorrow is the results. And so it is difficult to actually, it is not correct actually to give some opinion now, because if you saw the fourth quarter last year, fourth quarter of FY24 numbers, there was a small disappointment that we saw both on the NIMs. We saw some disappointment on the slippages, and that resulted in a big fall on the day of the result. So tomorrow is the result. Keep a watch. Valuations are not expensive. It's lesser than one-time price to book. So if the numbers are good, I think you can see a bounce up on the upside.
Okay, if the numbers are good, you could probably see a bounce on the upside. That's Bank of India numbers tomorrow, so do watch out for that. Along with State Bank of India, which will be releasing its numbers as well. Well, we have Harsha, who now writes to us from Hyderabad, holds 460 shares of IREDA, which is at around 32 odd rupees, wants to know what to do with this particular counter, hold or sell. We've got multiple queries within this segment, the RVNLs and the IREDAs and the RECs of the world. Vaishali, let's toss it over to you on this.
Okay, so IREDA has been trending since a very long time. This has been on most of the traders' radar because it has given very good returns. So currently what we have seen is it's getting into some profit booking mode. There could be a scope of a bounce back, but I think in a market like this, it's always prudent to book some profit and wait for some good decent correction to take place and perhaps at around 220 to re-enter. So that is how I would look at it. Else keep a trailing stop loss of 245 because below 245, the stock can get into a corrective.
Okay, all right. Well, we now have Gautam, who writes to us from Mumbai, holds 50 shares of Suzlon, which he's bought at 22. He wants to know what to do, whether to hold the stock or sell the shares at current levels. Well, fundamentally, how does it hold up for you, Shahina, Suzlon?
Yeah, the balance sheet is cleaned up and is pretty good. It's a deleveraged balance sheet. The order book is very strong. You've got, they're growing well. The quarter numbers, first quarter numbers were very good. So everything seems to be going good for it. There's, only buyers in the stock, even as of today. So everything is good. Valuations, but are very expensive. So I would suggest you continue to hold the stock, keep it with the stop loss.
Okay, continue to hold, but keep a stop loss on Suzlon Energy. Technically, it's done very well. 12 months, it's given returns of over 250%. Vaishali, Suzlon?
I would say it's in a very strong uptrend. Of course, if it's with a longer term perspective, continue holding because in between whipsaws cannot be ruled out. But now we are looking at a target of 80 to 100. So overall, the bias is very positive.
Okay, the bias is pretty positive. But just wanted to ask you about State Bank of India, which comes out with its numbers tomorrow. Shahina, you know, we spoke about Bank of India, but State Bank of India?
Well, State Bank of India also, I think, we'll have to watch what will be the impact of increase in costs on the NIMs and also any impact of the RBI's policies, the latest regulations that they've come out with. At the same time, I think in pure valuation terms, whatever be the numbers, I don't see too much of a dip because valuations are pretty attractive at just about 1.2, 1.3 times consolidated book. So to that extent, I would say that it's a long-term investing stock. You watch for the numbers and see for the short-term movements.
Okay, and technically, how would you approach it, Vaishali, SBI?
So SBI, nothing much happening. It's already in a trend. Keep a range of 830 to 900. We've come closer to the target in the previous few days. We did 899. Oh yes. So 900 was the target resistance, and from there on we are seeing some profit booking. So if 830 levels break, then that could weaken the stock. Till then, just keep holding.
Okay, all right. Well, we have KR Reddy, who writes to us from Hyderabad, holds 400 shares of Zen Technologies, which he's bought at around 320, wants to know what to do, stay invested or exit at these levels. I mean, look at the fabulous returns that Mr. Reddy is sitting on, almost, close to 6 lakhs. But excellent, entry price for Zen Technologies and to stay on within that stock as well. So, Shahina, great buy for Mr. Reddy in terms of Zen Technologies. But do you think that it's probably prudent to take some money off the table? Or would IT be one of the segments or the sectors to look at this year?
Well, I think it is in an interesting space and the numbers also are very attractive. Like if you've seen a 90% growth in revenues and they're likely to continue to do well because they've got a strong order book position and margins also very healthy. You know, they've got margins I think close to about 29-30% margins. So to that extent, 40% margins in fact. So I think to that extent, numbers in the longer term are likely to start looking more in terms of PE, valuations should start looking more attractive. So, you can continue to hold. Since the buying price is so attractive, I don't see any reason to sell it as of now.
Okay. And what about you, Vaishali, on Zen Technologies?
Well, continue holding as long as the holding is good. I mean, of course, it's an overbought zone. So I would say hold with a trading stop loss because the way the stock is moving, it can go towards 2000 plus. So, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, those are the Edelweiss numbers on your screen. Net profit up around 17% to 59 crores versus 51 crores, and the revenue is up around 17% as well. But we do have a question coming in from Kerala. Matthew, he holds 150 shares of Lupin, which he's bought at 1572, asking whether to stay invested or not. Well, Lupin still to come out with his numbers. Shahina, what is your approach towards the stock? It's given good returns, especially after the launch of a couple of their key drugs in the US.
Yeah, I would say that, the news flow is likely to be positive. Just recently, we heard that they have divested their women health business in the US for somewhere close to about $84 million. And now they're likely to focus on their respiratory products, which albuterol is likely to continue to do well even in this quarter and in this year, FY25. And while FY26, 27, you may see a dip in all these existing products, they've got new products that are lined up that will compensate, likely to do well. So I would suggest that, in terms of valuation also, since it is not very expensive, you can continue to hold. Price to book is about 4 times, which I would not classify it as expensive for the pharmaceutical sector, for the category of Lupin. So to that extent, it's a hold.
Okay, all right. And well, on that note, Vaishali as well as Shahina, I'm going to thank you and thanks very much for joining in and giving us all of those queries and answering all of our queries. Let me end with some good news. The numbers are out and it is final. India Watch Budget 2024 with CNBC-TV18. CNBC TV18's dominance continues as it knocks out the competition on budget day. CNBC TV18 is the clear number one with 91.2% viewership during the budget day. Continuing its 25 years of leadership, CNBC TV18 has won another gold on budget day. Thank you, viewers, for your patronage, trust and continued support.